Hi everyone, I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for tuning in to the live Q&A today, August 25th, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, where we're going to discuss and take your questions for educational purposes about U.S. immigration. And so it's a mess. We have some new news we'll get to in a second with regards to the process. But again, as a reminder, this is general education only. It's not intended for individual legal advice. You should consult with an attorney for that kind of guidance. But we're going to just generally talk about things that pop up, a lot of typical stuff to help you through and guide this, because there's a lot of unknowns, a lot of things no one knows, even the administration. And one of them popped up, which is this threat of furloughing, which meant they were going to put aside and send home around 70% of USCIS employees. All of a sudden they found the money and it's not going to happen. It was supposed to happen at the end of the month, which is going to pretty much kill immigration in a large part, or not kill it, but wound it deeply and put it in a coma for a sense. But they said, we found the money, we'll see what happens. So that's one of the reasons I don't like talking about these things, because you never know until it happens. And so I could have, clickbaited it and kept talking about this over and over again. But this issue was obviously going to be fixed somehow, or else there's going to be lawsuits, because there was mismanagement. There is mismanagement that's happening. So we'll see what's going on, but that's the cutting edge, the newest news people want to ask about. Also, I want to note that if you are doing a fiancé visa case, a marriage case, or you're going to be doing it, the thing to do, the number one place to start is to go to www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com/ebook and download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card ebook for free. And it's 40 pages that really breaks things down and gives you guidance on what you need to do. Once you read that, once you reviewed it, and there's addendums, attachments that help you out too, you can then consult with a couple of lawyers to see what they have to say, that you're going in there in an educated fashion. You know what to expect, so they can't fool you, and you'll have a better conversation because you know what kind of questions you should be asking before you go there. You don't go in there blind. So that's at www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com/ebook. Don't forget to put the 3 W's in there. And with that, let's get it started. All right, thanks so much for joining. Traditionally it was a Monday through Thursday thing we have been doing, and I took off Mondays from being live Q&As. I did a recording yesterday that was live. I'm talking about COVID-19 waivers for people that are from China, Iran, Schengen region of Europe, UK, Brazil, Ireland, who can't come to the United States because they've been in those countries or visited those countries. And there's waivers you can get. I broke it down, talked about 10-15 minutes about that. A lot of people were asking questions. I wasn't able to answer those because it was just a directed video. I'm probably not going to do those lives anymore, just record them and put them out there. Because the Q&A, we could talk briefly about stuff, the short snippets, but I can't go into depth. And some of these topics need depth to really explain how it is. Now, I did a video, for example, people always ask how long things take, and that I had someone leave a nasty comment that was inappropriate for a quick note that I made. But I already had recorded one that's like 20 minutes talking about how long things take, a full answer, maybe 25 minutes. You can catch that on JQK Law Firm's YouTube page. Recording is there. Also, as a reminder, the lives on TikTok, Immigration Lawyer John, JOHN, and so that's where you can catch that. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays right now, we're doing Instagram, JK Law Firm. That's where we're live. You ask questions there as well, and on Wednesdays on YouTube. So we're going to start with some questions in a moment, and thank you all for joining. Hopefully it'll be a fun session. I just got done talking for an hour, doing educational training for lawyers about L1A intercompany transfers, and it cut really close, so I've been talking for a straight hour into a microphone. We'll see how long I can handle this live session. So I kind of have to calm it down and slow down and not be so excited because it burns that throat of mine. But Rajesh asks, I heard USCIS is letting people work with approval notice because they are not able to print EADs. Yes, it was a great notice I received because people are not getting the actual EAD, which is the work permit in the mail. They said, okay, what you could do is use the work permit notice, and that satisfies the I-9 requirement. So everyone who works in the United States is going to work someplace as an employee has to submit proof of work and complete a form I-9 that shows they're here lawfully, working lawfully. And so they said you can use the receipt notice itself. Now they say that, they officially put it out. I'm sure people are going to have problems with their employers because their employers are afraid of accepting it. But you could go on the website for I-9 verification, go to DHS's websites and all that. It specifies it there, so they should be educated on that. Employers should have got an email about it as well, where they can check. But it's wonderful news. I mean, it's terrible news that they can't print the work permit, so you have to show a receipt. But at least they were open enough to do that. In the past, they haven't even done that. It would just say wait. And it's so unfortunate. So many people are not getting work permits, green cards, and just waiting there. It doesn't make any sense. But that's the nature of the game that we're dealing with right now. Hopefully things get better. it doesn't look good in the short term, but hopefully things get better. But thanks for your question. That's an important thing to bring up. It's Young says, camera on the back is reading our comments. Exactly. Yeah, recording everywhere. Ranjit, good evening. Good evening to you too. Abdul Shah says, does USCIS hire a company to process their I-130 cases or do it themselves? They might have contractors sometimes for certain types of cases. I don't know that, these things change. They should have their own employees. Sometimes they have contractors, but they're not transparent about how this all happens. Abdul Shah says, nice haircut. Thank you. I got it this weekend. Let's see. Sandra says, does processing times for I-130 for green card spouse got changed? Yeah, they change all the time. That's why I always tell people, don't look at processing times. They're not anything that's reliable. The government just changes it on their whim to suit whatever their thing is. So it is what it is. For a U.S. citizenship marriage case, 6 months to a year is normal. If you're going to be a spouse of a green card holder, 1 year to 2 years for I-130 petitions could be normal. After that is when it becomes problematic. You file complaints and maybe lawsuits. It usually doesn't get there, but those are rare cases. Like I had one case where it's taking way too long, almost 2 years now. We're about to file a lawsuit and we filed the complaint and it got fixed. Yeah, these timelines, they're all over the place and it's really inconsistent. We have a question on Instagram. Jignesh says, EB1C I-140 for manager will get premium processing. Okay, let's talk about this a little bit, help some people out about what that's going on. So if you're doing a business case, and like an employment-based case or a work permit kind of case, some of them, if you spend extra money, they'll make a decision much faster, like in a few weeks. That didn't work for a category called the EB1C multinational manager, but the new proposal coming out of Congress says they're going to include much more different types of cases that you can request premium processing for, which includes regular work permit EADs too. So that'd be great. However, they're going to increase the fee to $2,500. It's crazy. Right now it's $1,440, $1,440. It was $1,225 2 or 3 years ago. So that's a really lot of money to pay for premium processing, especially for a simple EAD work permit. But the other thing is, they're not. When I say the rule right now is they have to make a decision or at least issue an RFE in 15 business days or 15 calendar days. But it's going to be pushed out to 30 or 40 days. So all of a sudden, you're paying more money and getting slower service, although they're including multinational managers, which is good. So Jignesh, yes, the premium processing is happening, but the definition of premium processing is going to change as well. So it's a double-edged sword, unfortunately. So that's what happens when you're dealing with the government. Mimish says, can somebody sponsor for work visa now? Is this person a state? If the person is in the state in valid status? Generally, that's too broad of a question. Maybe yes, maybe no. If they're in the United States, it depends on what kind of visa they're sponsoring and what the background is and how long they could be here, what the previous status was. There's no exact answer. It's too case specific for me to be able to answer that. It may be possible, but I don't know. I need more facts. So that's that. Ron G says, is that true, bro? I kind of lost track of the questions. Ask him again. Deep Vishal says, how long do you think is citizenship process going to take in Sacramento if we file now? I have no idea. There's no answer to that. It'll take however long it takes. I can't tell the future. Angel says, hi, my dad did biometrics on August 13th. How long does he need to wait for work permit? There's no fixed time. Hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later. I have a case right now. We got the work permit and then they scheduled the biometrics 6 months later. So there's measure of like, oh, you got the biometrics going to happen. There's none of that. You just got to wait. There's no consistency. Suyan says, I am asked to provide RFE. Please provide more guidance for this I-130 case. I don't know. That's very case specific. I have to see. Our RFE is a request for evidence. So the USCIS said, there's insufficient information for some reason, and they're following up on you. So I need to review what your case issue is. It's not something I can just provide guidance on. I really need to see what's exactly happened in your case. If you got an RFE on an I-130, 150%, you need to consult an immigration attorney as soon as possible to deal with that. And that's the appropriate thing to do. Anthony says, I obtained my green card through a job offer. How long can I apply for citizenship? Well, if you got a job offer and you're not been married to a U.S. citizen, you have to have your green card for at least 5 years. You could file for citizenship 90 days with that 5-year mark if you meet the other eligibility requirements, which is presence and clean history, all this kind of stuff. So at a minimum, 4 years and 9 months after, or 4 years and 3 months, 90 days before the 5-year mark at a minimum. but it could be longer depending on what kind of eligibility issues your case has. So I can't say for sure. I need to know your background, especially when we get closer to that 5-year mark. That's when we look into it. Sivar, thank you for sharing the feed. Hassan says, I filed the I-539. This is a change or extension of status. Extension from a B2 status. So this person is trying to extend their tourist visa. Can I leave now while the case is still pending? Yes, you probably should. So I don't know your case, can't tell you that, but consult with an attorney. You could leave while the case is pending, and then you might want to send a letter to USCIS, have proof that you entered, left the US, ticket, stamping your passport, all this stuff. And so you clean the record and keep that receipt notice that you get, any maybe approval that you get later, so you can use it later if you want to come to the US. Naresh says they asked for an RFE and sponsor and public charge rule in case of missing anything and denied. Your question's all over the place, but I can't answer. I can't tell you what to do on your case based on a TikTok conversation. That's not appropriate. So just consult with an immigration attorney in private. Singh says, hello sir, my work permit was approved last year, but I didn't get it. Yeah, that happens too. Sometimes the post office even loses it. So if you didn't get it, call USCIS, see what's going on. If they claim that they sent it and you didn't get it, then you just need to file for a new one, a replacement. So that's an issue that pops up. People always ask how long things take, how long will this take. The post office just loses stuff. That happens all the time. And so that's why it's really hard to know what's going to happen in the future and guess this kind of stuff. USCIS could lose it, post office lose it, they change the rules. Some officer that collects the paperwork loses it. It's just so random. So we just got to keep an eye on every step and just try to jump on stuff. So if you didn't get the work permit in a year, you probably should have try to figure it out sooner, so you didn't have to wait this long. Jimbo says, any news on Israeli embassy? Nothing. There's just nothing's going on right now, but it's not something. I don't keep track of every single embassy at all times. You should consult and contact the embassy there and review their website to see what's going on there. That's the way to go about dealing with that. It's kind of unknown. Madigan says, my status for my EAD application was turned into new card is being produced. Does that mean it's approved? Yeah, if the online status is wrong many times, but most likely if they said it's being produced, that means it's approved and it's going to be coming in the mail next week or two, hopefully. Karun says, give info about SIGIS. I don't handle SIGIS cases, so I don't get into that. Angela says, we heard that they are going to increase money for citizenship. Is that true? Yes, they are increasing the filing fees for citizenship from like $7.25 to $11.70 or something like that. It's pretty dramatic. It's going to happen on October 2nd. So if you did have a citizenship case that you're thinking about filing, if it's appropriate, just file it sooner and not pay those extra filing fees. It's not just for citizenship. It's a lot of other areas too. Some prices are going down, but majority of them are going up. Some drastically, for example, like citizenship. David says, I got married in March 2020, but some problems going on in marriage life. So what's the next step? I don't know. Next step is you call a lawyer and schedule a private consultation. That's too case specific for me to answer here. Kanu says, my I-360 approved. I have to close this asylum. Not necessarily. I usually keep the asylum case open while it's open. Why you close it? So you have two complex situations, an I-360 and asylum. You should have a lawyer or at least a pro bono agency helping you. Ask them what's going on in your case. I can't advise you, but I don't typically close the asylum case until you have the green card in hand. So I wait for that approval and green card. Make sure you have it to do it. Abdul Shah says, what is the processing time for I-130 to get shorter because of furloughs cancellations? I don't know. The processing times is not up to me. It's some people and somewhere else making the decisions. That's that. You just got to wait for them. Hassan says, I filed for a fiancé visa in February. All I received from the embassy that they received. Okay, then you should keep moving the case forward. I don't know. I have to see what exactly happened in that case. Olivia said, do you think the travel ban for UK traveling to US will be ... You're probably saying lifted for 2021. It's not up to me. It's not a decision I can make. So it's up to the president what they want to do, and it's really hard to guess what the president is going to do. But I know, depending on the case, I just last week got a waiver of the COVID-19 travel ban from the UK. So depending on the facts of the case and the situation, you could request a waiver. So if someone wants to come for some reason and they have a good reason, we could work our way through the embassy, through the Customs Border Protection, or maybe they could wait outside of Europe for 2 weeks and then come here. That's kind of a hassle, but that's possible too. So if it's really important, who knows what's going to happen. It's really crystal ball kind of stuff, and I don't like to just do clickbait kind of stuff, get answer to this. I don't know. No one knows. So the way around it is to then see if it's appropriate for waiver and request a waiver of the COVID-19 travel ban for a UK national. Hassan says, nothing else heard from them. What should I do? I mean, I don't know. If it's your case, try contacting them to see what's going on. I don't know what to tell you. Kyra says, marriage interview. I don't know. You got to ask all the question in one place. Just saying marriage interview doesn't help me out to be able to understand what your question is. So just put it out again so we see what happens. But, marriage interviews, speaking of marriage interviews, green card interviews are happening. I just had a case approved last Thursday. What is it? Yeah, last Thursday, a marriage green card case. They went pretty quickly. It was approved. Had another client that did their diversity visa green card lottery. That was approved on the spot too yesterday. Yeah, with USCIS. They requested an expedited appointment. They got it because when you're doing the diversity visa lottery, the green card lottery, if you don't get the case done before the end of September, you lose your spot. And the guy was sharp, he got it in, approved, blah, 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 and it's good news. So they are doing interviews, it's happening, and some could be expedited because of urgency. Some are just happening, like this marriage case, but then I have other marriage cases that are on hold. So it's not consistent. Each office is different. So I have multiple cases I filed at the same time. One of them at one office had their interview, one of them there's no interview in sight. So it just depends on the case, it depends on the officer reviewing it, it depends on the office, all of that is there. Manny said, is it too late? Is it too late, fit visa lottery? I'm not sure what you mean, fit visa lottery. Is it too late to file for visa lottery? When is the window of close? I don't remember the deadline. I think it probably is. I think you could file on like, I don't know, October 2nd for like a 2-month window. I don't keep track of it, but I think it is too late. But just check online. That's the best place to go. Type in diversity visa, go to lottery website for the Department of State. They'll give you the exact answer there. Great Man says in October. Yeah, I remember it's October 2nd when the new fiscal year opens up. That opens up, and I think it remains open for like 2 months or something like that. You'll see all over the internet. People are doing videos about it. But it's a great thing to do. I mean, take advantage of it while it's there. A lot of people are going to lose out this year, but for those who are overseas. But if you're in the United States and you're filing for adjustment of status, that was working. And, the public charge will exist right now, so that's a hassle. But a lot of people who are here already are probably working, so it's not too bad. So they have health insurance, they have a job most likely. So the public charge rule isn't that bad. So that's an interesting thing to get into. Let's see. So, okay, so... a lot of good questions today. Thank you all for joining. I just want to do a reminder that if you are looking to do a marriage-based immigration case to start, go to www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com/ebook and download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card ebook. It really breaks down the process so you have an understanding of what's going to happen in your case. And then from there, you could just go and check out a lawyer that fits you. You could talk with them with knowledge. So the free Ultimate ebook is called the Ultimate Marriage Green Card ebook, and it's at www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com/ebook. Adu Shaw says, what's the average time in your experience? I don't like to give average times in my experience. We can have consultation. The reason is it's going to take me 15 minutes to explain average times, and I don't want to do that here, but I did do a video. It's on YouTube. Nobody watches it, but it has one of the lowest views. This is the question, the number one question people ask me is how long does this case take? I went and did a 25-minute video. I put it on YouTube, and no one watches it. so I don't know what to tell you. Check out my YouTube page, JKK Law Firm. You'll sit there and listen 20 minutes, and you'll get the full answer. And I just can't repeat this 20-minute answer every time. So you'll find it all over there. It breaks it down. But each case is different. It's nothing consistent about the system. And I explain what that means and how it could look like with the disclaimers of how it also could look like. So it is what it is. Yeah, so these questions about timelines just get hard, especially when those videos exist out there that really break this stuff down. And you can just schedule a consultation, a private consultation. We'll see what's going on in your specific case, because each embassy is different too. Each one has their own issues involved, and you see what issues pop up. Like I deal with cases in the Middle East. I already know what's going to happen that are causing delays, and so we got to sit and talk about that. And I got to see what country your foreign spouse is at to see what kind of deadlines they're looking at. So it's all over the place. You really have to know the case, and then also, more importantly, you just don't know. It's like having a crystal ball. You give averages, which I've done repeatedly, and you're a regular listener, so you've seen what averages I'm talking about. But I know you're in a rush, but the reality is we just have to wait, and you just make the most of it. Focus on your life, become self-improvement, read books, do video chats with your spouse or fiance, and just make the time pass. Hassan says, you're doing a great job. All my wishes and support. Thank you. You're welcome, Hassan. It's very nice of you. I really appreciate that. If you had the time, I'd really appreciate it if you just typed in JQK Law in Google, and on the right-hand side, there's going to be a place to read reviews. You put a 5-star review there, it would be much appreciated. You don't have to write a description, even just 5-star. That'd be really appreciated. You don't have to do that, but I would like it a lot. It really helped me out. But thanks again for watching, and hopefully these questions do help guide you guys. HR Patel says, what can I do if my receipt number changed? Well, are you talking about the USCIS receipt number? Thank you, Hassan, I appreciate that. Are you talking about the USCIS receipt number? It shouldn't change. Sometimes it's an error, and sometimes there was an error they're trying to fix up, they do one. I don't know, it's got an unusual thing. If it changes and it's not the proper number or something like that, you contact USCIS and let them know and see what's going on. US Dreams asks, Indian citizen changed status from a B1 to an F1, and now he wants to go for vacation. Yeah, if they go leave the country, they're gonna have to get a new student visa to come back in, a new F1 student visa, and I gotta look at your case to see what the facts are to give you guidance on that. Don't go on vacation. Just make it easy for yourself. Alpha says, what is the next step? Diversity Lottery 2021 after DS260. The next step is to wait for an interview to be scheduled. Hopefully it will be, I don't know. That's a tough one, but the next step is after submitted documents and just waiting for an interview scheduled. So contact the embassy, maybe they could open it up just for you, special, see what happens. But it's a big unknown. We'll see what happens. Unfortunately, DV 2021 was a bad time, the COVID-19 situation. People got lucky, they got chosen, then they got unlucky. US Dream says, can he go to Canada to get F1 stamped? Potentially, but with COVID-19, with Canada, there's issues. COVID-19 has a bunch of issues. We got to study what's going on in your case, whether they'll accept the case, whether the embassy is going to be open, the consulate is going to be open, whether you have to have a 2-week stay in Canada. Just a lot of issues going on whether you even get a visa to go to Canada. So it may be possible, may not. It really depends on a lot of different factors. So I'll just say schedule consultation with an attorney in private to go over the situation. Historically in Canada, it's been possible, but this COVID-19 situation has changed up a lot of procedures that we don't know. Adia says, yes, hi, I got an email from NBC that they're going to schedule an interview. Well, hopefully they do it soon. September is right around the corner. Hopefully you get it. And even if you do your interview, hopefully they issue the immigrant visa and then you enter the United States quickly. Nick Knight says, yo, is it true that I-765 wait time is 28 months processing time or glitch in system? I don't know. I mean, I read that. I think it's a Potomac Service Center to say 28 months for a work permit. It's crazy, but the way they do these numbers doesn't make any sense. So the first number when they're doing it is like 25 or 50% of the cases that, and the second number is like 98% of the cases. It's just not a right number. Statistically, the way they do it doesn't make any sense, and that's why I keep saying, don't look at these processing times. They're manipulated and they're made intentionally in a way so that if they're taking too long, you can't file a complaint because they say this is what their average time is taking. So don't look at processing times. You just have to be patient. If it goes past 6 months, then you got to start thinking about it. 8 months, 9 months, maybe contact a congressperson or call USCIS first. But it's just not a reliable system. So I always tell people, don't overthink it. Just hopefully be patient about it. Adria says, is it true that the embassy is only scheduling interviews for spouses only because of COVID? Well, not just spouses. They're limiting it to for each embassy is different. So I have embassies that are fully open. I have seen embassies that are not, that won't do certain kind of things. It depends on which embassy you're dealing with. A lot of them will do spouse of U.S. citizens, not necessarily spouse of green card holders. They do children of U.S. citizen cases. But I know I've had a fiance visa approved in one embassy too. Some are, it's different for every embassy on any different day. So there's no consistency in how they're handling this. Adia says, will the interview going to happen after the trial ban or before that? Adia, if you were I can't remember if you were the question about diversity visa, but it has to happen before end of September or else you're going to lose out. So hopefully it happens sooner. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. It's up to the embassy. You're in Mexico. I lost track of your question, sorry. RM says, do I need a single status certificate to be sent with N400? No, not at all. User27 says, my mom's interview was scheduled in March for adjustment of status and he's canceled, the COVID hit. Yeah, what kind of immigration case your mom have? Why did they schedule an interview if it's a mom of a U.S. citizen case? I don't know. US Dream says, visitor visa applications are open. My Indian friend wants to visit U.S. Most embassies and consulates in India are not really processing. you have to change. They're open for some countries and some embassies, so you have to contact the local U.S. consulate and see what their current rules are on this topic and see what they say. It changes frequently, so you really have to take a look at what they're talking about, what they're doing. Nick Knight says, change of address with the same state, will they delay pending immigration process? It can. I mean, when you change address, things pop up. Do you have time to talk about that? It's just, there's a potential. It may or may not, so it's not a guarantee that it won't, and I've seen it be a problem. They make mistakes, because when you go and update your address in the system, it doesn't, they have 3 or 4 different internal systems there, and it updates in 1 or 2 of them, but not all of them. So all of a sudden, you'll get an appointment notice that's based on your old address in another field office. And so you have to change that, and that causes delays. It's just a mess. It's not a consistent system. It's just too many problems going on. So you got to be prepared for that. Okay, Adriana says, can I fix my mom's papers? I'm a U.S. citizen in Mexico. I don't know, Adriana, that's an individual case advice. We got to see what's going on with your case, how your mom entered, what the finances are. So I would say consult with the attorney in private. It's not appropriate to talk about a personal case here. Kathy says, I got my working permit from my husband. I got my working permit from my husband. I'm not sure what that means. You can't get a work permit for your spouse. He says, still waiting for my interview. How many months before the interview? I don't know. It varies. But you might mean that you applied for a marriage green card case through your husband, and you applied for a work permit with that. How long it'll take? It'll take however long it takes. There's no answer to that. Roddy says, green card holder applied for husband. Does the new rule affect him? Green card, I'm assuming you mean the public charge rule. It depends on when you filed it, so the exact date that the government got the case and how they're going to interpret it. So it's not clear. We'll have to see. All right, so we're wrapping up pretty soon. We got a couple more minutes. If you have some last questions, let me know. We'll throw it in there. But I see a lot of these green card cases. One of all these time questions are popping up. Check out the video on JK Law Firm that goes into green card timelines. That answers your question there. But if you're doing a marriage green card case, you're planning on doing it, going to get engaged, go download the free Ultimate Marriage Green Card ebook at www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com/ebook. Jeff follows up, how long is it taking for a person filing to get an interview Mexican Embassy? It's taking a long time. Mexican Embassy has been closed for 6 months, and so all these cases are piling up. So it's impossible for any person other than God, or God's not a person, to answer that question. You just have to be patient. One last question for Abdul Shah. Sorry we asked a lot about the time process, but we just missed our loved ones. I know, but it's just a lot. Because I answer the quick question every time. But I understand, it's stressful. RM says, is single status required? Well, I answered that, RM. No. The fact that you're even asking that makes me suspicious, so I would need to review what's going on in your case. No one's ever asked that before, so the fact you're thinking about or asking it is kind of like weird. So I would say consult with an attorney, see why you're even getting into why you need a single status certificate. The U.S. doesn't even really issue those, so it's not something that's needed. But consult with an attorney before you file your citizenship case to see what's going on. Just review the background. You may not need to have an attorney file the case for you, but talk with some people to see what's going on. All right, we'll take one more case and we'll call it a day. I'll be back here again tomorrow. Immigration Lawyer John on TikTok tomorrow, Wednesday, and on YouTube Live. Also, the recording will be on YouTube as always, where you catch it along with clips and a lot of other private material. I mean, really specialized, unique material. We're posting there every day, as well as on Instagram. We have a lot of shorts that we post. We have approval notices. So people on TikTok can't see them, but I post approval notices that have timelines. Who asked about timelines? You have samples there. It's always different, so results vary. But if you worry about timelines, you'll see what my most recent case, or one of my most recent cases was done. I post the approval notice there that has timeline stamps on it, the receive date and the approval date. So that may help you, might get you excited about timelines there. You got to join on Instagram, JQK Law Firm's Instagram page. And on YouTube, on the community page, I post there as well. And then smaller videos on TikTok here and there. So catch it all. If you're into this stuff, you're going to find all the information you need if you dive through it. We're all there. So with that, I want to thank everyone else who joined today. And a couple people joining new. Thank you for coming. Come back in tomorrow on TikTok. We'll be here, Immigration Lawyer John. One last question. Sandeep says, thank you for your information. Sandeep, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And U.S. Student says, do you do Canadian green cards? Nope. I just focus on U.S. immigration. Only an American immigration attorney, only American attorney, only focus on there. Abdul Shah says, I don't have an Instagram. We should download one. It's not a bad app. All right, everyone. God bless you all soon. Oh, Abdul Shah, go to the YouTube page. On the community tab, I post a lot of the same images that are on the JQK Law Firm Instagram page there. So you should have access to YouTube. Subscribe, ring the bell, like, and you could view the approval notices that have samples there and see it right there. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Abdul Shah, US Dreams. You're welcome. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.